Northwest Christian Church as a whole is starting a new series called Fresh Start. And it's really all about starting new, starting fresh, realizing we don't need to get back to normal. We need a fresh start to help us take the things we've learned over the last 2 years and move forward. In 2 Corinthians chapter 5, right in the middle of this ancient letter, it's one of the very first churches, the Apostle Paul writes these words. Because of this decision, we don't evaluate people by what they have or how they look. We looked at the Messiah that way once and got it all wrong. We certainly don't look at him that way anymore. Now we look inside, and what we see is that anyone united with the Messiah gets a fresh start, is created new. The old life is gone, a new life emerges. And we're really excited about this new time of ministry as NCC students. We've changed the name of our youth ministry gatherings to NCC Students because we want to move into the future with a recognizable and unified brand across our 4 different campuses. We're looking forward to all the things God is going to do this semester, not just here, but on your teams, in your schools, and in your families. This rebrand, this fresh start is exciting, but it begs a couple questions. Questions like, what does it mean to be an NCC student? Who are we? What do we believe? What are our priorities? What does it mean to have a fresh start? And I want to take a few minutes to answer 2 of those questions. First, who are we? Who are NCC students? What do we value? What are our priorities? And to be totally honest, the answer is really quite simple. We are a community of people following Jesus. We're a community of people trying to live our lives the way Jesus would live them if he were us. Now, I know that's the church answer. I mean, come on, it doesn't get more churchy than a community of people following Jesus. So let me break it down a little bit. First of all, I didn't say we're a community of perfect people following Jesus. And I didn't say we're a community of people following Jesus perfectly. We're not perfect, but we are committed to following Jesus and becoming more like him. We're committed to living our lives more and more in the kingdom of God. And we all have to start somewhere. It doesn't matter what you've done, where you've been, the things you've said or thought. When you decide to join a community of people chasing after Jesus, you get a fresh start. But what does that actually look like? At NCC Students, we want to be increasingly marked by 5 things, 5 characteristics. First, we want to love Jesus completely with our heart, soul, mind, and strength. Second, we want to connect with our community. Third, we want to study and apply the writings of the biblical authors. Fourth, we want to be people who are growing in spiritual maturity and the fruits of the Spirit. And fifth, we want to be a community of people that serves others. We're going to spend more time throughout this semester and this year unpacking each of those 5 things. But let me say one thing about each of them. Stick with me, because there's only 5 things that we want to grow in as NCC students. We want every person in this community, whether they're online or joining us in person, to be committed to growing in these 5 areas. So I want you to think, as we explore these 5 things, which one are you best at? And which one do you need to grow in the most? First, loving Jesus with our heart, soul, mind, and strength. Here at NCC Students, we believe the most important thing about you is your identity as one of God's children. Not your sexuality, not your intelligence, not your looks or athletic ability. The most important thing about you is your identity as God's child. And we want this to be a place where God's love for you is known, experienced, and returned back to him. Second, connecting with the community. We want NCC students to be a weekly in-person gathering where you feel comfortable and confident to invite your friends, your classmates, your teammates. We're committed to creating an environment where everyone is welcomed and connected with. Third, studying and applying the writings of the biblical authors. We're committed to studying and applying these writings to our lives because we believe God is still speaking through them today. And we believe that living our lives in Jesus' kingdom is the absolute hands down best way to live. Fourth, growing in spiritual maturity and the fruits of the Spirit. We want to create a community where each of us is taking steps in our growth towards becoming more like Jesus. We want everyone to be growing in characteristics like love, joy, peace, and patience. Last, serving others. NCC students, We're all about serving others. We want every single one of you that joins us online or in person to have the opportunity to serve in our community. Jesus was all about serving other people. He literally said, "I did not come to be served, but to serve." At NCC students, we want to follow suit and be servants in the community. Which of those 5 characteristics is easiest for you? Which one is the most difficult? None of us are perfect and we all need to grow, but our hope is that this can be a place where we can all be together. And in spite of our weaknesses and imperfections, you and I, we can grow together as we seek to follow Jesus more. Now, maybe this is your first time watching religious content on YouTube, or maybe you've been doing it for a while, but I'm willing to bet you're thinking something like this. Cool, man. Nice talk. Why should I care? I grew up as a Christian, consistently attending youth group, and I always asked myself a similar question. I would ask myself things like, why do I even go to church? What do I get out of this? Let me try and answer that question for you. There are 3 things I think you'll get out of participating in NCC students consistently. And I'm talking about consistently, not twice a semester, not every once in a while when it fits your schedule. I'm talking about consistently prioritizing and participating in NCC students, both online through content like this or joining us in person. Outside of free food, fun games, powerful worship experiences, new friends, here are 3 things that you will get out of NCC students. First, you'll get community. If you've ever felt lonely, out of place, like nobody knows the real you, then this is the place for you. Come, join us. I promise that if you commit to consistently participating here, you'll find a community of people who love and care for you, the real you. Second, you can expect to experience Jesus. I promise that if you commit to consistently participate here, you will experience Jesus Christ. Now that might feel weird to you. You might be thinking, you're saying that if I come to this youth group or engage with this content on a regular basis, I'll experience a 2,000-year-old dead guy? What does that even mean? If that's you, I challenge you to test me on this. If you participate consistently this semester, I promise you will experience Jesus. Try and find out for yourself. Third, you can expect your character to be transformed by the power of Jesus. I promise that if you commit to consistently participating here and engaging with content online, you will find yourself growing in things like love, joy, peace, and patience. When you've experienced the loving community, the powerful worship, the relevant teaching, and the tangible presence of Jesus, your character will be transformed in ways you never expected. As we get to the end of this video, I want to challenge you and encourage you. Could this be a place where you commit to participating this year? Could this be a place where you commit to engaging with the content? There's so many things fighting for your attention: school, sports, hobbies, TikTok, Instagram, boyfriends, girlfriends. So many of these things are fighting for your attention just so they can take from you. Could this be a place where you come and participate in a loving, caring community? I hope you give it a shot, because this is the place for you. Come and start living the life that is truly life.